All right, strange news coming out. So, according to Jared Greenspan at New York Post, according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, the Pacers. So this is all according to Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst reports the Pacers are very close to executing a sign and trade with the Suns for 23-year-old Deandre Ayton, who was the first overall pick in 2018. As you guys know, that there is enough cap space on the Pacers to give Deandre Ayton near the max contract that he's looking for. And Brian Windhorst said we could see something as early as today for the domino to fall, and he's arguably the best player in free agency. But as of right now, the trade for Malcolm Brogdon hasn't been made official, so some people are rumoring that could become a 3-team trade, but I doubt it. I think that'll be a separate trade. What I think is going to happen, and so a lot of Pacers fans are actually saying that there has been, the wait for this, but there's a chance that this really could just wind up being DeAndre Ayton for Miles Turner in a straight up trade with just some picks, which some people are arguing could be a loss or could be a win, but it might just be Miles Turner with some picks for DeAndre Ayton. Nothing more, nothing less. But Mark Stein reports that if indeed Indiana moves with its widely anticipated offer sheet for Suns restricted free agent DeAndre Ayton, it's curious to see how the Kevin Durant stuff gets handled. But right now, I think it's interesting as all hell due to the fact that they don't think they're going to do an offer sheet because it's too revealing, and they're just going to do a sign and trade and, pull the trigger on it because, as we know, DeAndre Ayton is easily the best free agent still available, and his market has obviously been slowed down due to his status as a restricted free agent combined with the possible pursuit of Kevin Durant by the Phoenix Suns. So now it likely seems like we're finally getting some movement on DeAndre Ayton's contract, as Brian Windhorst reported that a sign and trade is possible for Ayton. And a lot of people have said it's going to be Miles Turner, probably 2 first-round picks, maybe 3. And I guess 1 has to be unprotected. I'm taking at least 1 unprotected, okay? That's at least in my opinion. Am I overvaluing it? I don't think so. I think that's a good deal. What would you guys offer for DeAndre Ayton if Miles Turner is the base offer, which we expect? What are you guys building the package around? I think that's where it becomes interesting, because what is the right package for DeAndre Ayton? And I do think that's where it gets interesting. I think now also that we found out unprotected picks are more valuable. Like, we always knew that, but like that it's been hammered home in our brain that unprotected picks are becoming worthless. Like they reset the cap. Like, everyone's been joking that the Thunder's picks somewhat became useless. But let's get back over here to the Indiana Pacers talking about DeAndre Ayton. I think they haven't really talked, like, the best free agent still available, one would argue, at every single position behind Ayton. The best center is either Boogie Cousins, Hassan Whiteside, Moses is on the Clippers, Dwight Howard, LaMarcus Aldridge. Those are the only good centers behind Ayton. And so the Suns they brought back Bismack. They didn't bring back JaVale. They brought in Jock Landale. I assume that Miles Turner, they're like, we need to get another big man because the big man market is scarce. So I think this is a move more out of necessity. And Miles Turner, DeAndre Ayton trade, let's just talk about what that would look like. And the Pacers only have $26.2 million in cap space, which allegedly isn't enough to make the Suns blink an offer sheet. But if the Indiana acquires it, I know I've seen some people reroute a trade where Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, Taylor Horn Tucker, and Cam Johnson go to the Nets, and then like Kyrie and Joe Harris to the Lakers, Durant to the Suns, Ayton, and then I guess it would be like Westbrook and a bunch of picks to the Pacers as well, Nets and Pacers. I think that's stupid. But Evan Sidery says that the only way this is happening is through a sign and trade, because they can, slap down anything. So this is where I think it's became interesting, because what is DeAndre Ayton's value at this point? Like, what are we willing to give up for him? I think it's just become interesting due to the fact that the whole Kevin Durant thing and the Nets being super patient. So the Suns really want to get KD, I bet, and they don't want to blow their chance by trading one of their best trade assets, arguably. And I think that's where the whole hang up is right here. How can they get rid of DeAndre Ayton while being able to still land Kevin Durant? While there's also a bunch of other teams that are also going for Kevin Durant. I think DeAndre Ayton, I wanted him to play for the Hawks, but every day that passed, I realized that the Hawks are probably done making moves, which is sad to see, but I mean, it was bound to happen. They couldn't have been just making moves for the entirety of this offseason. But with DeAndre Ayton, it's difficult to see, because what is the correct thing they're going for? Like, what is the build? Is DeAndre Ayton going to fit into the Pacers with Tyrese Haliburton, Chris Duarte, and who did take Chris Duarte and Benedict Mathurin? So it becomes it's juxtaposition. Let's admit to that. And I don't know, are you guys happy with it? I want to hear Pacers fans. What is your opinion on this situation? Do you guys like what's happening, or is this an overpay for y'all that you guys just don't understand why? And I can understand the frustration with it, but I think it needs to be happen, because this is a city that they're a middle market team, so they're never going to fully rebuild. I don't know why mid-market teams do this, but they never fully rebuild. They only retool, and that's kind of their thing. They retool. They never fully rebuild, because I guess because they can't afford to money-wise. They need to stay somewhat competitive, and I think this is the best way to retool. Imagine Tyrese Haliburton throwing lobs to DeAndre Ayton. I like it. They do lose the defense, and I really don't know how to fix that one, but I do think it does bring in an interesting problem for Rick Carlisle to address. But hey, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What do you guys think about the trade, and is it that terrible? But I think that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I probably have wasted enough of your time. So have a great